Hey everyone, John here from Brewers, and I'm back with another beer from my cellar. Today we are doing a beer from Beachwood Blendery from Beachwood Barbecue and Brewing. This is 2.6 to the exponent of 5, I believe is how you say that. This was part of their propagation series at the Blendery, where they're making wild ales and lambic style beers. This was part of their first sets of releases that was basically them experimenting with their barrels, getting their yeast program all brought up to speed and just playing around with stuff. So let's open it up and see what it is like. So they don't really give much of a description of what the beer actually is. This says it's an ale aged in oak barrels with Brettanomyces and herbes de Provence, whatever that is. 6.4% alcohol by volume. Just by looking at it, it looks like it's a blonde ale, something really lightweight, maybe like a Saison or something. You get a big Brett character on there. Yeah, it's like spicy. There's a little bit of pepper. Funky, definitely funky. Get some peach notes on there. That smells really good. Get a little bit of like pine too. Not like pine you'd get from hops, but just like a sappy kind of pine thing. It's not too strong. But it's there in the background. Overall, just very refreshing. A little bit of the maltiness comes through. You get like a kind of a bread character coming through. You definitely get like an herbaceous kind of thing. Maybe that's from the herbes de Provence, whatever that is. I guess I should have done my research before I did this video. But it does have an herbal quality to it that blends in really nicely with like the funky notes from the Brett and like the fruitiness you're getting too. So it smells really, really good overall. Not a whole lot of oak coming through, which is, I think, a good thing. You don't want a whole lot of oak coming through in beers like this. The oak is generally there just as a vessel and somewhere for the yeast to like grow and stay and be nurtured. So you don't want big like woody oak character on these beers. All right, let's see what it tastes like. So obviously it's really light, really super dry, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want from a beer like this. I get like a juniper kind of note on the palate. It's kind of dominant, I would say, along with that herbaceous kind of thing. The smell of the Brettanomyces yeast in this beer isn't quite reflected in the flavor, I think. It's very light-bodied and clean and crisp, but it's not very funky. Although it smells kind of like it would be kind of funky, it's not. Yeah, the smell on this is perfect. You do get kind of like a very slight tannic quality. I think maybe from the wood and mixing in with that juniper flavor. That's kind of what it comes off like, but it's all really, really good. It's excellent. The fruit characteristics I got on the nose aren't there in the flavor. This beer is just super dry, and I keep going back to that, but that's exactly what it is. It's an excellent beer for summertime or spring. Even right now in California, it's like 75 degrees today. It's actually a really, really beautiful day. I went for a walk with my dog. It was awesome. But it's just an excellent beer. Like I said, super dry. You get some juniper notes on it. Not a whole lot of funk on the flavor, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I wouldn't mind if there was more funk. And it's just a really tasty, drinkable beer. That's the best way to put it. So it's a really excellent beer. The Blendery right now has been releasing some phenomenal stuff. Their first release, Fortune Favors the Funk, I believe it was called. Excellent beer. Talk about funky. I mean, that beer was outstanding. And I think I drank my last bottle a couple months ago, which is sad. But it was around the brewery for a long time. And that's a relative term because by a long time, I mean, it was released and a month later it was still there. And I thought it would instantly sell out because these beers were selling out pretty quickly in the beginning, and then towards the end, they kind of started to die out a little bit and stick around for longer. So that doesn't mean the beers were bad. It just means the hype kind of died for them, and they stuck around for a long time. So overall, again, great beer. These beers aren't going to be made ever again. So I'm glad I got my hands on most of the bottles, and that's one less beer in my cellar.